From million-dollar supercars to six-figure rentals, rappers don't just flex with their whips. They wreck them like it's part of the lifestyle. We're talking Ferrari spun out across highways, Rolls-Royces shot at mid-cruise, and Lambos getting totaled before the valet even shows up. These are the most expensive car crashes in rap, and somehow the cars took more damage than the rappers' egos. Lil Yachty got more sauce than grip on the road, apparently. Back in 2020, he was cruising through Atlanta in his bright red Ferrari 488, a $330,000 supercar, when the rain decided it was time for a remix. Dude was driving his red Ferrari 488 during heavy rain when the car hydroplaned. It smacked the left median, did a 7-lane spin across the highway, and slammed into the right wall like it was in a Fast and Furious audition. Somehow, Yachty walked away with just a few scrapes on his arm. But his Ferrari? That thing got absolutely violated. The front end was crushed. The body was bent like a soda can. He later posted on Twitter, all calm, saying, "So thankful for my life." Travis Scott might be undefeated on stage, but when it comes to parking, man's taking L's like their tour merch. Back in 2019, Trav was leaving the Glendale Galleria in LA, probably trying to dip out fast before fans mobbed him. He jumped into his all-white Lamborghini, looking clean, icy, and expensive, and threw it in reverse. But instead of gliding out smooth, he backed that Lambo straight into a parked car. No paparazzi chase, no dramatic twist, just a simple oops in a $400K flex machine. No one got hurt, the damage was light, but bruh, it's a Lambo. A scratch on that thing costs more than a used Honda. But that wasn't enough. A while later, Trav rented a Lamborghini Aventador worth nearly $400,000 to attend a party at Diddy's mansion. Party was lit. So was the car after it crashed. Nobody knows if Travis was driving, but what we do know is he had to pay $90,000 just to settle the repair bill. That didn't even include the extra charges the rental company tried to throw at him, like loss of rental income and the car's lost vibes. Luckily, the court sided with Travis, but man, 2 Lambos, 2 crashes, 1 rapper. Maybe just stick to private jets, my guy. 2 supercars down already, and trust me, it only gets worse. Someone in this list wrecked their ride and turned it into a music video prop. Stay tuned. Offset was just cruising through Atlanta one night in May 2018, probably vibing to his own tracks, when out of nowhere, someone stepped into the road. He swerved hard to avoid them, and ended up plowing his Dodge Challenger into everything else in sight. The car went off the road and slammed into a tree with so much force it looked like a crumpled soda can. The hood was folded, windows shattered, airbags out. The kind of wreck you see in movies and think, yeah, no one walks away from that. But somehow, Offset did. Bruised, bleeding, but alive, and lucky. And here's the part that feels like a movie. A man named Jamar Coleman just happened to be walking to work nearby, saw the wreck, and ran over to help. He pulled Offset out of the mangled car and helped him get to safety, probably before anyone even realized it was Offset. A few days later, Offset tracked the guy down, showed up like a rap superhero, and bought him a brand new car as a thank you. So yeah, that Dodge Challenger didn't survive. But Offset got a second chance and made someone else's day, week, and probably year. Offset crushed his car and gave a stranger a new one. Who knows, we might give you one if you crush that subscribe button. On the morning of January 27th, 2013, Rick Ross was behind the wheel of his silver Rolls Royce in Fort Lauderdale just hours after celebrating his 37th birthday. He wasn't speeding, he wasn't swerving, he was just cruising down Elas Olas Boulevard. Until everything changed in a second and the night turned into a scene out of GTA real quick. Out of nowhere, someone opened fire. Witnesses reported hearing up to 20 gunshots, and Ross, trying to escape, hit the gas. But in the chaos, he lost control, and his $300,000 Rolls Royce veered off the road and slammed straight into the side of an apartment building. The impact left the front of the Rolls mangled and the building's wall cracked, but somehow, Ross and his girlfriend walked away without a scratch. No one was arrested, and the shooter was never caught. From near-death escapes to shootouts, and we're only halfway there. One of these next rappers literally dipped after crashing a $350K Lambo. In 2013, Soulja Boy's red Bentley was involved in a serious crash in Los Angeles. At first, Soulja claimed his bodyguard had been driving the car, but as more details came out, he quietly admitted he was behind the wheel. Reports from the scene said the Bentley had crossed over a double yellow line and collided with another vehicle waiting to make a turn. Inside that other car was a pregnant woman who was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Her husband later spoke out, saying they were simply stopped at a red light when Soulja's Bentley came out of nowhere and hit them. TMZ released footage from the scene that didn't help Soulja's case. It showed the Bentley push past the yellow lines, its front end visibly damaged. Both sides blamed each other for the accident, but regardless of who was at fault, the Bentley was badly beat up. Scratched, dented, and left with thousands in damage. Back in June 2018, NBA YoungBoy somehow managed to crash a $350,000 Lamborghini Huracan Spider, and then left it on the side of the road like it was a used bike. The Lambo had been rented under his cruise name in Los Angeles, and the agreement clearly said only the person who signed the papers could drive it. But just 2 days later, the car was found completely wrecked, body smashed, wheels damaged, a total loss. What made it worse is that YoungBoy was allegedly seen speeding down a residential street, lost control, and bailed after the crash. By the time anyone showed up, the car was abandoned and whoever had been behind the wheel was gone. But witnesses later claimed it was YoungBoy himself driving. The rental company filed a lawsuit demanding damages and claiming they were out hundreds of thousands between the wreck and lost rental income. YoungBoy crashed a $350K Lambo and dipped like it was a stolen shopping cart. Meanwhile, you can just crash that subscribe button. No lawsuits, no court dates, no tow trucks. Just for pure vibes. Post Malone might have the chillest vibe in music, but in September 2018, his car situation said otherwise. Around 2:40 a.m. in West Hollywood, his white Rolls-Royce Wraith, worth over $300,000, collided with a Kia at an intersection, then smashed through a fence and ended up in a bush like it was trying to escape the scene on its own. Post wasn't even driving. His assistant was behind the wheel, while Post sat passenger, probably mid-convo about aliens or beer bongs. Luckily, nobody was hurt, and police said no one was under the influence. Just an unfortunate mess of luxury and timing. What really made it all crazier was that this happened 2 weeks after Post had a mid-air emergency on a private jet where both tires blew out. Dude nearly fell from the sky and then almost got folded in a Rolls. After the crash, Post tweeted, "God must hate me, LOL." Honestly, at that point, it did feel personal. In October 2018, Tyler, the creator, had just finished a late-night studio session and was driving home in his brand new Tesla Model X. But somewhere near UCLA's campus, just a few minutes from safety, he nodded off. In that 1 second of sleep, his Tesla veered off the road and slammed into a parked Honda CR-V so hard, it sent the car flying nearly 50 feet down the street. Tyler calmly got out, left a note with his info, and the next morning posted on Instagram admitting it was all his fault. No excuses, just a tired driver who pushed it too far. He even gave credit to Tesla for saving him, saying the airbags did their job and kept him safe. A brutal crash, and a reminder that even a second of sleep behind the wheel can total a six-figure car in the blink of an eye. When falling asleep behind the wheel leads to six-figure damage, you know it's real and sad. But the next guy, he straight up danced next to his crashed Lambo. Sheek Louch didn't just crash his car, he turned the wreck into a full-on photo shoot. In 2021, he was spotted in Los Angeles standing next to his Lamborghini Huracan Performante, which had just taken a nasty hit. The rear bumper was smashed in and paint chipped off by the wheel. But instead of looking stressed or even annoyed, Sheek was dancing in the rain, literally, next to his wrecked Lambo. His entourage stood by filming him like it was a music video, and Sheek just kept moving, like the crash didn't cost $300,000 in carbon fiber and regret. After the car was taken away by a tow truck, he hopped into a different luxury car, a Maybach of course, and left like nothing happened. For real though, most people crash a car and file a claim. Sheek Louch crashes and catches a vibe. On December 9th, 2023, 2 Chainz was leaving a night out in Miami, fresh off a stop at the Booby Trap strip club during Art Basel weekend. While driving down I-95, a Tesla slammed into his vehicle, smashing into the front driver's side hard enough to push it into a concrete barrier. The damage was serious, and so were the injuries. He had to be taken to the hospital on a stretcher, with neck injuries that looked bad enough to worry fans everywhere. Videos from the scene showed the front of the Tesla crushed and 2 Chainz' black car shoved sideways across the road. It was the kind of crash that could have ended way worse. Luckily, he later posted from the hospital, letting everyone know he was stable. But between the crash, the possible DUI from the other driver, and the chaos of the scene, it's a reminder that even a chill night can flip upside down in seconds. From luxury to life-threatening. 2. Chainz' crash was brutal, but the next rapper? He totaled his Hellcat at 18, and then turned it into a whole music video. NLE Choppa is the kind of rapper who'll take a wrecked car and say, "Let's film something." At just 18 years old, he crashed his Dodge Charger Hellcat, a $70,000 muscle car, straight into a tree. The front was completely destroyed, airbags deployed, the whole hood folded in. The kind of damage where the car's not getting fixed, it's getting replaced. But instead of getting it towed and laying low, Choppa turned the wreck into a music video backdrop. In the video for Beatbox and First Day Out, you can literally see the smashed up Hellcat in the background as he raps in front of it like it was part of the set design. Turns out, it kinda was. He even posted clips of him doing donuts in the same car before the crash, so it's safe to say the writing was on the wall. But when you're 18, dripped out in diamonds, and already worth millions, sometimes a 70K wreck just becomes content. Car crashes might grab the headlines, but there are some rapper secrets that are just as shocking, and way less expected. Check out our previous video on 20 biggest secrets you didn't know about rappers.